Welcome guys, welcome everyone. Good morning everyone. We are live for the day, guys. Good morning everyone. What a market dump in the last 30 minutes, guys. Good morning, guys. Good morning, everyone. Market is dumping. And we're looking for a solution. Happy Friday as usually, guys. Good morning. Interesting price action behavior at this time here, around 670s. The whole market is red, but this is a 130 points, 140 points market dump before the opening. I'm expecting a form of relief today on the US opening. I'm definitely going to consider this the trending line that at least it has to be touched from somewhere. We have basically the demand zone below us, but already at this level volatility could kickstart, and then somehow we have to test this out. If we break out of this, big chances to get back basically retesting 950's supply. 950 supply is gonna be there. So at least a retest of the trending line that we got should be in place today, guys. But I don't want to long the markets before things settle out. We're down at the weekly opening. We can range today weekly opening, daily opening. We've got options expiring today, if I'm not wrong, which is why big volatility could be part of the whole thing. Ready to trade our 3 accounts of copy trading. 2 are copy traded, 1 is traded alone. 152k on the first one. We're looking for a strong day. Hope you have a great time, guys. How do you feel today? How are you today, guys? Hope you have an amazing time out there. Slowly we're gathering together and preparing. Weekly opening is what we have touched here for Nasdaq. Weekly opening, which is on 668. We're basically back to the weekly opening. This is where we have opened the market. So throughout the entire week, we are trading above. Now we pushed back into the weekly opening. This is a very interesting scenario, which is not happening most of the time in the distance from Monday to Friday. We were kind of bullish and trading much higher during the previous days. So to speak, during the middle of the week, we are trading much higher. And then the resistance line The resistance line of the trend that we have 30-40 minutes ago confirmed a significant rejection. It confirmed that. Good morning, guys. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Hope you're having a great Friday. Usually we enjoy such times and have a good moment, preparing basically for trading and preparing to screen the markets in the most efficient way. There's not much going on in terms of major economical news that are scheduled. You can always have craziness about the political side triggering at any point economical strong movements, but something scheduled for the Friday 21st, there is nothing. I'd like to consider having a look into the upcoming week. In the last week of March, we've got the manufacturing PMI on Monday. Final GDP, this is very important on Thursday. Unemployment claims as well, not the biggest deal, but still, final GDP is the big deal, and then the Friday core PCE price index. Yeah, final GDP is the hot spot of the week, and that's something we will definitely pay attention to, and this is pretty much in the upcoming week, guys. Good morning, guys. Good morning, Sebastian. Welcome. Oliver, Darkside, Strange Nature, Shiny Paladin. Yes, Rao. Welcome, guys. Hope you're having a great Friday as usually. We are preparing for our trading session. This is a pretty weird movement. And I've seen this in the past couple of weeks. Pumping pre-opening, dumping at the opening. Dumping pre-opening. Are we going to correlate this with a pump during the opening? Because the aggressiveness we got here for Nasdaq is just simply, you know, right now we're sitting in a situation here, guys, that is not really favorable for the markets. Look at that for the hourly. This is the hourly chart. We are sitting on a demand zone, of a pivot zone. And that 1 hour candle that we got, and we close with that, I wouldn't mind to see the markets dipping below and then running. That would be absolutely amazing. FOMC was great. Speech was good as well. So things are building towards a recovery phase of the stock market, with the necessity to allocate sufficient time. So if you're in swing trading, you're in a position right now to allocate sufficient time. The stock market is not looking like it needs a heavier correction, guys. Welcome everyone. Mr. Pepper, Christoph, and Kislaya. Running up or down, Rashida. That's exactly what we're going to discover. I wouldn't mind a movement down and then a wick back, right? Because there is tons of liquidity below this price actions. And we just started this candlestick for 51 minutes. There are still to go. We're going to go through the opening with this candle. Even if we run down in the next 2 hours, the upcoming times could easily reverse. So obviously the markets here could visit significant lower levels. There is pressure against, and it needs a strong bullish reaction. But at the same time, what I'm seeing during the indicator at this point is a decrease in the selling pressure. There is a convergence here, obviously, generated by the missing energy of the bulls. Yes, Christoph, I'm still in Hungary. I got my office here set for live streaming, and I'm still gonna be here for some time, surely. Before moving to a different country in Europe, have to make sure the office is completely set up, which is a lot of the work to do, and I prefer right now working towards the website of the prop firms. We're building the reviews and educational website, guys. We are constructing a website which is going to be the main authority in the space in the upcoming period. Obviously, it's going to take time to become the main authority, but if you get a bad ranking, you're going to be screwed as a business when it comes down to our community and the way you behave with them, right? So it's very important to draw the line at the right place, guys. We must have strong authority when it comes down to these firms. As soon as we pay for certain services, we pay the price they are charging, they gotta deliver. And they will deliver when it comes down to our community, guys. They will deliver because we're gonna have a strong piece of negotiation. Hope you're having a great Friday. What's happening in the markets is not too exciting. Not too exciting, as you can see. None of the longs here that I could have tried would actually held to anything decent. There are rejections on the 1 minute candles that are pushing the price action to the upside, but then suddenly the selling pressure has much stronger 1 minute candles. So it's clearly where the energy is in domination right now, but the good part is that this thing could actually change due to the fact that breaking below the structure that we have as the demand zone would not be too exciting. Great job, Anton. Great job. We're having a good time talking about things that we're preparing, as well about the markets, and of course the way we're planning our project with the website. So this is where we are, 6:50s before 15 minutes to go. I would love to trade pre-markets, but this is kind of ugly, right? So I could scrap here, 5 points or whatever. But that is not really too attractive. Honestly, that's not really. We had a few 1 minute candles. This one from 748. This one, guys. 748 down to... What was that? 711. About 37 points in a single 1 minute candle pre-market. The reason why I'm not longing it here is because this can nicely get ugly into a knife catch movement. So what I'm thinking about doing is I'm gonna set some limit orders, some ugly limit orders into the lows of this thing. If the market wants to dump at the opening 100 points, I like to scrap some of those crazy entries with deep wicks, right? With long wicks that we can have. Morning, guys. Morning. We gotta relax, enjoy, and be out here to perform. Remember, guys, whatever account you are purchasing before the next week is going to respect the old drawdown on Ticktick Trader. Whatever account you're buying starting by next week will be fully under the new trading rules. So this is the only rule with a drawdown that's still going to be respected if you buy during this week. All the other rules will be applied even to old accounts. Yeah, PV. PV. Indeed, no one would be happy in your case. You're perfectly right about it. No one would be happy in your case with that instance needing to produce an extra $3,000 and probably you were just, a couple of days away to request the payout. It has been the case, that's realistically unfortunate for those of you that were just 1 or 2 days away to request the payout under the old conditions. And the changes came in. That's really unfortunate. Obviously, that's not on purpose. Minor reaction here. With 14 minutes before the market has to speak something. But I'd like to be cautious. We got $2,000 here. Let me tell you something right now. With a consistency, things can change because now, for example, I need to make 157,500, right? I need to make that 7,500, which becomes the safety threshold. Payout threshold, that used to be payout threshold, becomes the new safety threshold. Based on the new rules, whatever is above the safety threshold can be cashed out. So I have to produce money above 7,500 to cash out. I can make 500, I can make 1,000, I can make whatever amount and request that. But I can request it as low as 7,500 must remain in the account. So if I want to request 3,000, I have to make 7,500 plus 3,000. And that 3,000, that means I need to do 10,500. So if I need to do 10,500, then I have more room for my consistency, which means that I can make about $2,000 a day, even slightly above that, $2,100 a day max profit instead of 1,500. And I get to the same target in 5 days. So I can adjust basically to make more money in a trade by adjusting the size, increasing the size. That's how you can adjust and control basically this challenge. The need of making more money can be controlled by adjusting the size, but at the same time adjusting the size comes with additional risk. The good part is that the daily soft breach of max loss per day remains unchanged. And of course, the max loss is no longer following and it's no longer trailing after it has reached the main balance in terms of the starting balance. That's where it stops. The most difficult part obviously is the first payout, but after the first payout you only have to produce 3K and you're gonna have minimum 7,500. So you're going to be in a very comfortable situation with the second payout. That's where TTT is basing, and it's considering itself that the second payout actually, you're going to start from 7,500 already in the account. On top of that, so you have that max drawdown 7,500. You're in a comfortable situation with that. You have to produce 3,000 in whatever amount of days, so you're not limited to a number of days. About 10 minutes to go till the market openings. This is the place, guys, we got the weekly opening for Nasdaq. So that's kind of crazy. How aggressively we came back to the same weekly opening when we're actually trading above 20,000s. The rejection we got and the W pattern that we got right there during, what was that? There was like during FOMC. is crazy. Rejection again on 20,100. Probably a very strong movement is going to appear once you break above that. Really strong movement. Probably a breakout above 20,100 is going to send you straight into the 21,000s. But this is obviously going to take time, right? So the recovery right now of Nasdaq back to levels around 21 and above that is no longer going to be happening as some expecting it in 1 or 2 days. That's the wrong approach. Weekly opening, daily opening much higher. So for the daily opening, we need about 230 points. There is a downtrend going around at this point, with a triangle pattern formed with a demand zone. 9 minutes to go, guys. This is getting very interesting. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for those of you that are new. And we are slowly taking forward, guys. Building our community. We're building our community with transparency and honesty, trading only on live stream. There is no off-stream trading. So there is no numbers added from the back end. No, this is the way it is. What's happening? Let's look into the stats a little bit, performance stats here. This is what we got. The first day was a significant loss, almost $4,000. We've touched the max daily loss, but then we have 4 days in a row profiting. And then yesterday we've actually touched the micro scalping rule. We broke that and we got paused. But this is the situation of the account. So today I'd like to force it around 2,000, 2,100. Would love to achieve that. And close the current week around 154. So then I would need around $5,000 to $6,000 next week, which is above $1,000, $1,200 a day, which is something we have been producing this week as well. The second payout would be a lot easier, with a lot of drawdown. Good morning. Good morning. No news today in terms of scheduled news. Right, there is nothing for today. Between 17th and 21st, this is what we have. So the spotlight was on the FOMC. And then the upcoming week is what is going to be quite interesting with the final GDP and the PMI. PMI as well is something that the market usually care about. 6 minutes to go, guys. The market is still sliding, which is why I'm not in any long here, guys. Longs could be reacting in a brutal way right after the opening. It just depends. How do they expect to step into the market? Do they expect to step into the market meanwhile there is a cliff? So they buy that cliff alongside with tons of liquidity grabbed, or simply there's going to be a pump with a flat green candle on a 5 minute or so. We're going to discover. By the way the market looks here, it's definitely not worth for me to position myself for long right now. Not yet. We're below the weekly opening. This is definitely something that we should try to protect on higher time frames, on HTF. Low time frames is not a problem we're breaking below, but HTF is something that would be lovely to protect. Even, 8-hour candlesticks or daily. Micro scalping for the old account. Starting with Monday, which is going to be 24th, the micro scalping rule is eliminated. And you will be able to trade without any problems with microscalping. Old and new account. Right, so this is some great news, of course. 5 minutes to go, guys. 5 minutes to go. But this is only happening, guys, on 24th, so do not do microscalping today, for example. You're not gonna escape being paused. I'm gonna set some orders here. Let me look into the 1 hour. Let me set my charts quite interesting here in the way we 603. I'm gonna set some orders below 600s. I'm gonna set some orders below 600s and see if those are gonna get touched during the opening. Right, so some limit orders. 588, one contract. 586, one contract. 566, one contract. 546, one contract. Look at those guys. They're waiting for a stinky market move. 91 as well, one contract. $74, one contract. There is a form of rejection here, about 30 points. But this can be very nicely denied. Very nicely denied. What do I expect? I expect volatility. If I'm not wrong, guys, options expire today. If I'm not wrong. At least they do expire on crypto. Tons of options expire in crypto, guys. So volatility is going to be right there. If the market is dumping in the crypto space, we're going to talk about it. We're going to look into the markets today in all of them and share with you my thoughts and expectations. Let's go, everyone. Less than 3 minutes to go till the market opening. We're going to have a bell ringing right there. It would be a very nice thing here for me to reshort this situation, right? A very nice thing, honestly. A very nice thing. Just as I said, the market is delivering, guys. The market is delivering. Big volatility. Be careful, everyone. Be careful. Slow volatility market situations pre-opening can nicely trap you into an overexposed in terms of risk management case, right? So that behavior can give you a fake feeling of the volatility of the market. You just jump into micros, you see the numbers are not moving around, and you decide to double that up and so on, which is usually happening before a time of high volatility. You know, we got here the weekly opening, guys. 1 minute to go, and we are going to be wild. Weekly opening at this place. Obviously, it reacts. We have a strong demand zone. We're actually going even below that. We're taking the wick below the previous one. So we were grabbing that wick, guys. We're moving below. And the reaction happened from the bulls. So an absolutely crazy movement to the top side from here is something that I don't want to exclude. So this red candle you see right here could be a strong green one at some point during its 30 minutes that are left. Let's find out more about it. I would love to see some volatility here, guys. 20 seconds to go, everyone. This is where we are. The market is opening. 10 seconds to go. And the bell is about to be triggered. There you go. Market is opening. Have a look into that. Come on, do something. There is no flash crash at the moment. No flash crash yet. Taking this orders out of here. Canceling all the orders from there. And I'm testing out a short from
Order
here, guys.
filled.
I like to see if it holds. For a movement back. If it's not, I'm simply going to get rid of it. Yeah, we have that crazy wild opening with a non-stop pump. Look at the gap Nvidia has. I'm going to re-short this on 720. 727. Limit order right there. Let's go, guys. Good luck, everyone. Although it's not about the luck itself. Yeah, we obviously need that on top of the skills too. S&P with a massive gap. Beautiful retracement so far. We're gonna get out of the trade very soon, guys. We might break below nicely. So I'm gonna put stop loss break even. And I'm gonna go a nice target right below the 600s. Have a look into that, guys. This is a good looking trade, right? This is a good looking trade. Come on, this is just the noise of the volatility of the opening that we need. I mean, that would be 80 points of short. 80 points of short, guys. Have a look into that. I'm still happy to hold this one. I'm not going to trail anything for the moment. What a pressure, guys. What a pressure right there. What a pressure on that.
Order filled.
And the break-even has been touched. So there is no breaking below for the moment. There is no breaking below for the moment. This is a massive demand zone here. Obviously, we should have pressure into the upside easily, but at the same time, the opening can be misleading us. Hope you have a great time, fellas. And a happy Friday for everyone. Make sure to join my Discord. It's a prop firm Discord community that we're building. The link is in the chat. Have a good time, guys, in our Discord. You will be able to find out on all the things that we do, especially the prop firm website we're building for reviews and educational material, as transparency and honesty authority point.
Order filled.
This would be an interesting possibility here, guys, that I'm trying out. Look at this. Now we might break below.
Order filled.
6 contracts. I am 6 contracts into this. With a very clear invalidation for the price action. Let's go, guys. The current candle is nice for the invalidation. We have moved to break even. Looks beautiful so far. Looks beautiful so far. I don't want to sell anything partially. I kind of feel this. We're trailing this position. We have to trail it. $277, $673.
Order filled.
Yep. Has been touched. Not bad. $283. Definitely not bad, guys. That deserves a round of fireworks, everyone. $283. We had a very good setup in terms of the risk management as well. That was beautiful. So I'd like to see how does the low shapes itself at this point. Nvidia broke below. S&P kind of did the same thing, but there's going to be tons of reactions, and Nasdaq is the only one holding, so it's going to be a powerful movement to the top side if it holds.
Order filled.
We're opening another short here. We're trying to be a little bit aggressive. Just a little bit. For another continuation below the 2 wicks we have. And obviously playing this one tight. 591. We're shorting this structure again with a tight loss. What a tight range we got here. I'm out.
Order
I
filled.
don't like it. I'm out, guys. I don't like it. I like to see Nvidia. I mean, it grabbed tons of liquidity in Nvidia from the lows. Just like the S&P, which is on the same levels here around the 600s. It's a dangerous spot where support is expected to consider longing it, but at the same time longing before the bulls have been confirmed that their power is also unfeasible and unattractive financially. Hope you're having a great day, guys. Hope you're having a great day. Now, this is an interesting situation, honestly. If it wants to go lower,
Order filled.
this one here, playing with those wicks, you know, 3 contracts, not much about it, but still.
Order filled.
Yep, we've been stopped out. We don't get that push for the moment to the downside. We actually got it on pre-market. So I have to... We might have to stop forcing for shorts. We might have to stop forcing for shorts. We might have to enjoy pushing the markets to the top side. It is a massive place here of support appearing. So let's just wait a little bit on the market, and in the meantime look into the other cryptocurrencies as well. This is what's happening with the Bitcoin, guys. It is dealing with its natural downtrending resistance line, which is also appearing on stocks. We have been downtrending for Bitcoin for about 60 days continuously, but now we have a possibility here based on the divergence I shared with you the other days as well. That low over there with this low right here is forming a divergence. The CRSI, which is a modified RSI indicator, is portraying a higher low. Meanwhile, the price action is going lower low, guys. So this is a very interesting spot, and this is appearing on the daily, and it has been confirmed as well. So it could be a very interesting spot of reversal here. Even if we come back to 81 grand, as long as $80,000 holds for Bitcoin, the probabilities are basically to retest the trending line where the big fight is going to happen. Breaking out of the trending line is going to open up the doors to target levels around 100,000 for Bitcoin. And of course, depending how does the stock, economical news and everything goes around, we are going to adjust our approach. What's happening here, guys? 5 minute is pumping. 5 minute is pumping and is looking for breaking above. I gotta be careful out here. I gotta be careful out here. The markets might not retrace back to the opening points, and they might push through the 710 easily above 720s. There's about 30 points to be made on an entry here, but this entry would be an entry into the resistance that has been previously confirmed. It's not an easy job to trade like that. 5 minute on Nvidia looks decent, guys, but the most important part is the 5 minute on the S&P, which is doing an engulfing and about to get back into the 630s for the opening. I saw something. What's happening with Tesla, guys? Look at that. Tesla started moving. We got a decent increase already. What's that? 2.8% in the last hour, close to 3%. And look at the 1 hour candle here for Nasdaq. This is the Nasdaq chart, 1 hour candle. Which looks very promising. Very promising. So whatever movement we get back into that wick is going to be bought up. Seriously is going to be bought up. Let's look into the 4 hour candle as well. 4 hour candle, 15 minute to close. Playing the range. This is what a 4 hour does. Playing the range. Back to the hourly. Let me just get to the 1 minute chart right now and play a little bit with a Fibonacci extension. Where do we have the golden pocket here? So that's where we have the golden pocket. We just reversed into the golden pocket. Could be nicely extending into some of this 1.618 level if the golden pocket holds.
Order filled.
We got into a 5 micro longs for the golden pocket holding. Hey buddy, we're fine. Running our day trades and performing. Running our live stream that we're really enjoying.
Order filled.
10 contracts, everyone. Ten contracts looking forward. Breaking above 720s and then reaching into the high 30s. There you go. That would be a beautiful target. It's about 60 points indeed.
Order filled.
Adding to this another 5 contracts. We're gonna obviously play this one tight. $1,842 if we touch the target at the top. So if we get a nice squeezing candle here of 30 points, would be absolutely amazing, guys. Would be absolutely amazing. My desire was with the golden pocket to hold on to the structure for the 1 minute, and that's exactly what it does, guys. The golden pocket is in between the 2 black lines that I have. Beautiful. Beautiful, guys. Look at that. Let's go. Let's go, guys. 35 points. Stop loss is going to be right there, very tight below this whole thing. This is the 1 minute candle that it has to deliver. This one. And that would be a nice and complete trade, guys. Nice and complete trade. As soon as, of course, we don't get rejected here at the top. Which doesn't seem like, but again, this is volatility. So the best thing to control your emotions and the best exercise for that basically is to perform on the markets trading that is going to cost you less. So in other words, you want to deal with smaller accounts, smaller amounts of money, smaller costs as trading business with less amounts of money. If you're in a fear of losing the money you have invested to buy accounts, to use personal funds or so, then obviously the financial side is something you have to manage. And the first thing you can do right there is to reduce the amount of financial exposure you have. That's from where you have to start. Usually that's the triggering. Let's go, guys. 20 points here. That's what we have. 20 points here. And we are printing. This is a good looking trade. Obviously, if it comes back to my entry, I am just gonna be out on break even. I don't want to lose anything in this trade.
Order filled.
I sold 5 contracts. I've secured some profits. If we break below 700s here, I'm gonna sell another 5 contracts and leave the last.
Order filled.
Sold another 5. Leave the last 5 contracts for a runner. We're gonna leave the last 5 Persian for a nice runner. Beautiful. Let's go. You got fear when you're in profit and you're probably not letting your winners run sufficiently. And then your losers are overextended and making significant losses compared to the winners. Small winners will never add up to big losers that we accomplish. That's why the ratio and the portion has to be in our advantage. That's why entries are very important to be good, which is allowing you to go risk-free on the trades by going break even with a stop loss, right? So you also want to reduce if there is a high level consumption of substances like caffeine or something like that during trading, which is usually accelerating of the emotional side. It's making you overexcited basically on those as a chemical effect. You want to reduce that as well if it's an exaggerated portion you're having. That's something else that happens usually. So you have to be very well balanced and neutral when you're trading. Looks good so far, guys. Looks good so far. We're testing the 200 EMA, so I'm selling
Order
here.
filled.
$1,084 profit. Beautiful, guys. Well, let's go, everyone. Let's go for the first group trade of the day. First significant one. First significant one. Now, let me just see what happens on 5 minute. What happens on 5 minute? It is a partial V-shaped recovery for the moment. Nvidia is not doing that much. Today, Nasdaq is actually leading the markets. Bitcoin as well moved nicely. Very nicely. Bitcoin is holding the bar much better than altcoins during the last 24-48 hours. So what happens here, guys? We just exited in the top. We just exited from our position in the top. So we exited on 728, guys. Exit price right there, 728. PNL 585 on that specific part. Wow, look at that aggressive movement. There was a very good exit based on the 1 minute chart with the extension and the 200 EMA 1.618 extension. I can have those numbers back on my screen. So this is what we had, guys. Golden pocket here on around 700s again. And the market is reacting to this. Amazing. By the way, for those of you that would like to grab your accounts on the platform that I'm trading, instant funded prop firm Ticktick Trader, the majority of you know about it, and the majority of you are already using my link and my code. There is a flash sale besides the general discount, which is 35%. There is a flash sale right now, representing $300 discount on the 250K account, using the code SCR300. We're gonna have a lot more videos coming on my channel in the next period. It's gonna be bombarded with videos. 1084. I'd love to make a little more here. I'd like to double that number. Do we get here a rejection, guys? What do you think about it? 733. 733. Let me ask you a question, chat. Let me go to the 4 hours and ask you a question. It's not going to be for this week. It's going to be for the upcoming week. Four-hour 200 EMA. 4-hour candlesticks, 200 EMA sitting on 20,600s. However, the question is, are we going to break out from 20,000? You know, we did our top around 150s, 20,000 150s. That's the question. Let me engage with the audience and start a poll. Are we going to break out next week on 20,000 150s? What do you guys think about? So that means the upcoming week is going to be bullish. With a such breakout, you're going to be in a bullish week. Or simply not. Interesting behavior here in the markets for the 1 minute. Rejecting, but at the same time there is not much strength continuing, right? So the rejection is temporary on 735, 740s, but the continuation is missing. So the price action is holding the bar at that level, pretty much undecided right now, if you're asking me. Let me know, chat, what do you think about? I've asked you the poll in the chat. This one is preparing for a nice breakout here. I would need to use about 20 points stop loss if I would go for the chance of breaking out. We might get a unfortunate convergence here. We might get that convergence. If we break above, we might get that convergence on the CRSI, which is definitely not exciting. So the micro scalping means right now to jump in a trade and then dump it 5 points above or 3 points above. We just broke out. So if we turn around, then we have a convergence. We could get back to the 700s if we turn around. Nvidia is not capable, guys. There's a big gap between Nasdaq and Nvidia, including S&P 500. The only one that is respecting the way Nasdaq is moving around is basically Tesla and of course some others. So interesting spot here to test out a short, honestly, but still it would be
Order filled.
just a few points. Look at that. Back to 706. And the stop loss above the opening of the candle. Now moving the stop loss to my entry, we're not risking more on this, and we're looking forward profiting.
Order
Let's go.
filled.
Beautiful. Target has been touched. Beautiful trade, guys. Where are the fireworks? Well, there you go. Fireworks on a good trade, on a good setup. On a tight game for a continuation of the impulse. We're right here trading between this golden pocket of 1 minute. That was a great trade. $247 minus $6 fees. It was $241. Let's go, guys. By the way, thank you for watching. And thank you for being here. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, turn on your notification. We're streaming from Monday to Friday. Opening the stream usually 30 minutes before the US market opens. Usually. We have on the 1 minute a convergence there on the price section, which is exactly what I've been trading. Possibility here to get below 700s, but I would be careful on a reaction and a chop back to the highs of this structure. Right, there is a bunch of 1 minute support appearing here, guys. So careful on shorts. We only got perfect trades so far. So it would be a bad idea for me not to be sufficiently patient and wait for the moments. You guys better have a good time listening to the music. Look at this. So today P&L, since we started, this is for today. We've been green throughout the entire time with today's P&L. There are days when you're not like that. For example, this day when we ended up in profit, we were also down $285 at some point. This day right here, down $200 after we opened the trade, but then things have moved into our direction. This is the way it looks when you have a good entry. The market is moving in your direction with the P&L on the green side. So you have the ability as well to adjust your stop loss on a break even without exposing yourself to the stop loss, to the initial stop loss touch. This is as well an interesting situation here. Entry and then the market went into our direction. Let's get back to our charts. Might be an interesting spot here if it holds. Let me see the 5 minutes as well. Five minutes have an interesting momentum that is slowly decreasing. So I don't think 700s will be capable holding throughout this entire situation here, but we're gonna discover that. I can play this very tight and go on a short here with a stop loss above, right? Look at that, guys. $142. It's worth it for a nice cliff. Maybe 180, slightly above that.
Order filled.
No. It actually goes to the other side aggressively. Not going below this. It's respected nicely so far. Great job. Great job, Strange Nature. That's exactly how we have to be. Right, so the 5-minute candle here. Interesting, you know. I'm
Order
just
filled.
gonna play the wick we just established right there with a short. This is an interesting
Order
spot
filled.
basically to break below. Let's go, guys. Just a little bit lower so I can move my stop loss to my entry. Just a little bit lower. Come on. Give me a movement below 700s. A clear movement. Otherwise, if this one becomes ugly, I'm going to reduce the size. Depends how this 1-minute candle we got here is going to look like. Time to reject. Come on. Time to press below 700s. This one is a good target, guys. Adding some additional numbers. We're 13 contracts. And about to make $1,000 by if we touch that. Or around $600 loss if we get to the top side with this move. I guess there is going to be a chopping momentum here for the markets around the 700s, clearing some of the liquidity. They're still going for the market continuation. They're going to be chopped out. Hopefully this theory plays out. Obviously trading is not about hoping, but that's how we used to call it. I mean, we used to say just like that. Not in a way of trading and hoping. De-risking a little bit. Oops.
Order filled.
De-risking a little bit here.
Order filled. Order filled.
Sitting on 7 contracts.
Order filled.
Sold another 3. We're sitting on 4. I don't like this. I'm out.
Order filled.
I don't like this. I'm out. Good. I mean, we had a minor loss over there, but it's good that we're not exposed to a situation that I'm no longer convinced about, or simply it has not been delivered under the conditions I was looking for. You know, Nvidia is back into a place where bulls are expected to be protecting that level 116. I'm not going to be happy shorting Nasdaq with that conditions, and then obviously S&P 500 back into the level that, you know, earlier we reacted to this. I'm not going to be too happy. Shorting support. Wow, and we just moved below. We're moving below. We just moved below. That's, you know, would have been a good trade, guys. Yeah, I had to get out. I was also overexposed at some point of my trade, and I didn't like that. So this is what caused my intention and action of rushing out too early. The instant rejections we've been receiving above 727 plus the way the bulls are slowly reducing their pressure are things that actually convinced me. So let's have a look into golden pocket is no longer holding here. We're gonna take that away. Look at the 200 EMA, guys. This is what rejects us and dominates the market of Nasdaq for the 1 minute chart. 200 EMA, triple rejection, looking like a head and shoulder, right? Question mark. Looking like a head and shoulder, or we simply do not complete the pattern and we react earlier. That's a beautiful, beautiful move. S&P about to break below. I think S&P is gonna do something to break below, and even Nasdaq is gonna get into 665 probably. And then from there it could nicely move. There is also a trending line here that is getting established. Thank you, Blanco. Mr. Wick. That's a good way to put it together. That's really a good way to put it together. S&P broke below. And S&P this way on the 1 minute, if it reacts, of course, it's going to do a divergence, guys. Be careful. It broke below the level. And it's going to do a divergence if it reacts here. Plus, on top of that, it's going to react within the cloud of the RSI that I got, a modified RSI. And that's a healthy bullish signal. Right, so
Order
obviously
filled.
under these conditions, I'm going to give it a try here for a long. And I'm going to DCA slowly back into the business with a little more spicy on top of that. This is how the S&P looks like. Possible divergence to appear on the minute chart. Let's go, guys, here. Look at that. Looks interesting. You also want to correlate, every time you want to correlate the price action between the S&P 500, Nasdaq, and Nvidia. These are the three things that I'm putting together in conjunction. You also want to work through multiple time frames. Good reaction so far. Just, 2 more green candlesticks here and we can have a decent profit. Back into this area where, look at that, guys. Back into the place where, just as I said with the S&P, what about the stop loss? The stop loss is going to be on our entry. We don't need to risk anything, right? We don't need to risk anything when you're in a good shape. When you're in a good shape, you're in an advantage. You have to take advantage of that and monetize it. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great weekend, guys, about to come. It has been a very interesting week. It has been a difficult week for a lot of you, especially with Ticktick Trader changing their rules and stuff like that. No one expected, of course. Came out of nowhere. And we have to deal with that. It's still having certain advantages on instant funding. Still, instant funding used to be a much better choice than the challenges. So again, it depends on your interest, guys. It depends on what you need. And if you can receive what you need, because that's also a question. We also have to adapt in some way, but at the same time, we also have certain needs that we cannot exclude from our calculation. We would accept basic, look at that, guys. It's moving nicely, and I would secure something here. It would take me to 1,500 profit for the account for today if I secure this here. But at the same time, the markets could nicely push with the S&P here. This is a place of massive reversal as a possibility, of course. And that would actually break out here for... Look at that. We're about to break out for Nasdaq. This is why you have to surf between the assets that you're trading. So you discover the things you're actually having on your chart and you're charting. You're not sleeping on it. No, we're going to take this higher, guys. We're going to take this higher and we're going to trail. Take this higher trail. We only need about $900, so that's 772. Look at that. I mean, if we get rejected over there in an ugly way, I'm not going to like that. But still, the upcoming candle could nicely force for the breakout. That's a legit trending line that we have for the structure. I mean, we had 47 points to the top side from our entry. There's been a lot of cushion out there. We'll still have about 20-30 points to go when you can expect new giveaways. We're gonna do upcoming week. Let me write down this thing. It's good that you have remembered me. Let me write down that we're gonna do in the upcoming week. We're gonna do a giveaway. Give me a moment, guys. I don't like that rejection, honestly. I'm gonna sell
Order
2 contracts. Not a big deal, but I'm gonna, you know, take 2 contracts more here. It's 2 candles rejecting that trending line. You know, if the current one... We're going tight on that, right? Look at that. We're going to trail the stop loss that way. 126.
Order filled.
Yep. We secured, basically. We secured some money in this trade. Giveaway for next week. I'm going to have that on my schedule. You just want to be out here on the stream. So another thing, guys, on our website, we're going to have tons of giveaways. Right, I'm going to simply organize them and enjoy. Definitely enjoy the whole process. From the opening, which is usually a possibility to work around a starting point for a trending line, so that is a solution that is permitted. We could also force for a breakout here in terms of the S&P, guys. Opens the doors to rush back to the top of the gap. Opens the doors to retest 645, which is the 200 EMA. So there is a lot on the table. And of course, Nasdaq is looking very, very good right now. And
Order
I'm going to
filled.
simply take this opportunity here, guys. I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to take this opportunity here, guys. How much do we need? About $700. That's what we need. So slightly breaking above the previous top, which was been on 53. We need this one into the 59. A market continuation chance at this point is expectable. So if we touch that target, we're gonna stop trading on this 2 accounts. They're copy traded. They are copy traded. Time to push this one.
Order filled.
15 contracts. This way I can nicely decrease basically my target. 752 right there on 746. Not an easy situation, guys. We need the breakout here, which has not been delivered for the past couple of minutes. Certainly has not been delivered. 752 right there on top of what we made is gonna make it up for the final target of the day, around $2,000. Let's go, guys. 20 points. 20 points. You know, if this thing... We actually broke out of this trending line, and now even if we retest the trending line, we should react with bullishness. But we're getting suppressed by the 200 EMA continuously. This is what happens right now. We're continuously getting suppressed by that. Unfortunately, we could get rejected again. Right now, between a very intense point here, the trend line support that comes in and the 200 EMA. Do or die timing. Yeah, that's why we're decreasing, because the S&P as well is dealing with the trending line. Let's go. Beautiful reaction, guys. Look at that. Let's go, guys. That's an amazing candle right there, which is also going to be longed from my other account. 10 contracts.
Order filled.
Putting the stop loss below the structure. And we're letting this one run. But let me look into this. This is the place where we only need 10 points, guys. 10 points. That's it. Nothing more than that. Just about 10 points. And we secured $2,000 for today. Probably 2,100. Hope you're having a great time. Like the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel. We are trading from Monday to Friday. Let's
Order
go, guys.
filled.
Beautiful. And the target has been touched. And the target has been touched. Beautiful. $2,103 on a copy traded account. The second account has $2,085, which is the follower account. And we're also sitting on a long here on the third account that I just entered a little bit earlier. We're going to set the stop loss right there on minus 20 bucks. Accept that. Actually, we're going to put it on 0. And see if the trade here is going to be a runner. So 730s. But the most important part is, guys, we have made strong profit here. 2,103. Exactly as I told you before we started trading during today's stream. Exactly. We need that 2,000 right here, bringing us to 154 and allowing us to enter in the upcoming week with a $5,000 to $6,000 target for the week. Look at the resistance, guys. The resistance is sitting around 793. The 5-minute resistance coming from the highs. That's the trending line that we care about right now. It's also, we got 35 points on top of our entry. This is looking great. This is looking great. Leader and follower account. If we would have been under the old conditions, I mean, there's about $3,000 to be made here, 3,200 in the upcoming week, and that would have been sufficient, right? But now we have to make about 5,500 or so. A little bit more. We can adjust that from the size by dealing with larger size. There's 10,000 here max loss drawdown right now, $10,000. However, at the end of the day, the max loss is going to follow us, right? The profit we make today is going to also be added to the max loss. It's going to trail as long as we reach 7,500 in profit. That is the time it stops trailing, where the payout threshold and the safety net is located. So max loss is going to remain at 150 grand, and then whatever we make above that is just going to be a big distance between the balance and the max loss. However, you cannot forget about the daily max loss. Let's go, guys. This is looking great so far. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for being here. We had an amazing session today. So far, it has been an amazing session, guys. And I'm looking forward touching the 789 target. That would be nicely dealing with the resistance line right there, expecting significant pressure from there. Also 5-minute 200 EMA slightly above that, so I wouldn't risk the profits made to fight against such levels. S&P 500 it might be able to get into the price action gap. Would be lovely to see that. And at this time here on Nasdaq, a slow grinding is sufficient, right? Slow grinding is sufficient. We got a good relaxing time. Two accounts traded about $2,000. And the third one here is under good conditions. Or very good. What about gold? What's happening on gold? Let's look into the 1 hour. Wow, look at the gold. Bouncing from the 200 EMA on the 1 hour. We had a significant dump right there on the gold. 30 points. It's a lot. Good job, buddy. 660s and out and 750s, 90 points with 10 micros is actually sufficient for the day. That's the way to go. BTC is back above 84. DXI has been, dealing with this resistance, but so far has been just putting more and more pressure towards it. 104. It's gonna be an interesting time here. If they reject that once again for like numerous times. Crazy stuff, right? We're gonna get stopped out. I'm gonna move the stop loss a little bit lower, guys. You know, that's a place of previous top, exactly where my entry is located, and they could revisit that. So previous top could be transformed into a could be converted into support level. I don't want to exit in a support level, which is why, you know, this 1 minute candles do not look ugly to me. Do not look bearish to me. Let's quickly consult what's happening on the S&P as well. You know, I could enforce my position here actually with an extra 5 contracts, but I'm not going to do it. We're going to accept here a minor loss if that's the case, if that's what we have to do. Nvidia is doing the same thing, ranging at this point and probably preparing to take the markets back close to 117. Tesla is going to get back to the top 243 by if this level holds here on the 37. Nasdaq as well.
Order filled.
Giving it another extra 5 contracts, guys. This is going to be a trade with a riskier approach in terms of the size, of course. Riskier approach. Let's go everyone. I'm going to exit out of 5 contracts very soon, right? So just a bit of us here, right here.
Order filled.
We sold 5. We're back to 10. My stop loss is going to be set right there in case of the market is not bouncing from here. $238 on that quick speculation. We got into 5 contracts and then sold it. Look at that, 250. Got into 730, sold at 755, 25 points quickly on 5 micros, $250. That's good. You know, these trades that we have here, are, you know, we're holding them for a bunch of minutes. They're not those kind of trades that you're selling in 3 seconds or 5 seconds or 6 seconds, right? We're holding this ones for a bunch of minutes. I'm, you know, still looking for filling up the gap here between the price action and the resistance line that we have. Not mandatory to fill up the gap indeed, but an overextension into that level where shorts are waiting and expecting would be very nice. And we do not have a convergence. We do not have. That's a good job. We're having a great time out here. Enjoying our Friday. Tennis time when it comes to the weekend, guys. We're gonna play tennis again. I'm playing tennis a lot Not gonna be out there on an ATP tournament. You're not gonna be able to see me on television or online. But I might reach at some point playing in lower divisions, which are still professional divisions, the ITF. You know, I might travel to some places with this ITF tournaments and then have a good time with that. I'm gonna share with you the link, guys. If I ever get to play an ITF game, which is going to be live streamed, I'm gonna share with you the link. But then you guys do the fireworks when I'm gonna hit the winners. I'm not gonna be right there behind the computer doing the fireworks. You guys will have to do the fireworks for me. That's gonna remain your job. Let's reach out here on a bouncing. This level. If this is bouncing, that we can nicely run.
Order filled.
Adding an extra 5 contracts to that one. Beautiful, guys. Look at that. Let's go, guys. If we don't reject here at all, I'm gonna hold my 15 positions up to 793. You know, if we take this back to my entry, I got a feeling that I'm, you know, no longer want to risk here. Even though it's definitely not looking bad for taking the liquidity from the highs. I mean, there's shorts here that have been trapping themselves. How does S&P
Order
looks
filled.
like? Nah, we've been stopped out. We've been stopped out right there. It's, you know, we've been needing to trade this very tight. So I was in a need to trade this very tight. I don't want to be overexposed during times it's not needed. And it's actually never needed to be overexposed. Happy Friday, good times out here. Profiting $2,000 on the 2 copy traded accounts. That's exactly the way it goes. If we would have been copy trading all the 3 accounts, which is, by the way, the maximum accounts you can have on Ticktick Trader. 3 instant funding accounts. You grab them directly, instant funded. You don't need to go through challenges. You make money from the beginning. You request a payout once you respect the payout and safety threshold rules that have changed yesterday. So there is a video on my channel about it. That's an interesting situation here, guys. This level could hold and then you just can wake up with a candle 60, 70 points. Exactly, $2,000 in a day. That is basically, for my consistency, necessity sufficient. Not needing more than that, because that way I increase my payout threshold too much, and it's gonna be in my disadvantage. So financially, it would not be a good choice. Let's find out more. What does we're testing right now the golden pocket here, guys. We are testing the golden pocket here. Let's have a look into Tesla as well. Nvidia back to the same levels. This is an interesting spot here, guys. to test out some longs below 700s as limit order. 698, 2 contracts, 692, 2 contracts, 682, 2 contracts, right? Look at that. Some limit buys if the market decides to flush into that. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, streaming from Monday to Friday. We're above 40 guys, 40, 45, 50 fellas out here on a great time, on a great Friday, on a great day, whatever is it called, is a great day. It seems like we're front running my limit orders. We're not going that deep. We are just reacting on the golden pocket of the retracement of the Fibonacci. So I've been extra cautious with that, but it's never a problem to be like that. A problem, especially a financial problem, is when you are greedy. The 1 minute here is interesting for a trending line, I guess, and that's what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm gonna utilize that specific formula, at the same time go about this trending line too, which is exactly what has reacted right now. Very questionable what's happening here. This candle, that 2 candles right there where we have been engulfing could be an interesting spot, guys. 673, 73, 3 contracts, 68, 3 contracts, 61, 3 contracts, and we're waiting. We're waiting for the markets to dump into those lows, which could very nicely react, and we could bounce from there. So we got listed 9 contracts on the limit orders. There is a problem with trade evade. There is an issue at this moment for some clients and users with trade evade. I've seen people discussing about it on a variety of groups. There is an issue with trade evade. Hope you have a great time, fellas. Gotta enjoy our Friday momentum. Big bullish day. It has been bullish so far, and that's the way it wants to continue throughout the momentum it has. Yet it do not want to cross my limit orders. I got some deep ones over here, but they don't want to get into my limit orders. What about a breakout right now, guys, over here? 200 EMA, trending line. What about forcing for the breakout here? Or do we want to reject again? Do we want to...
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
12 micros long, guys. We're going for the breakout scenario, which is exactly what has happened. We broke out. Now I'm looking for hunting the target on the bigger time frame. Trending line 790s. I care about 790s. Adding
Order
3
filled.
extra to this. Sitting on 15. Let's go to 790s. Would be around 1,722. That would be a very good perspective. A very, very good perspective. Let's go for the breakout and 200 EMA continuation. That can easily take us to my targets. Can easily, guys. You know how easy it is when you trade. Sometimes even 1 point is extremely far away. And 100 point stop loss is about next to you. That's how the markets can nicely act. I don't need rejection here, guys. I don't want to see a rejection. I want to see a slow grinding and then a candle of 30 points pushed back into the 70s. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see the markets coming back here for a retest of the line we broke out. Too much retest is no longer healthy. We should be above 200 EMA here right now. We should get that supporting us. Beautiful, guys. We're actually sitting, the entry that we got is actually on 200 EMA. Hope you're having a good day, chat. Hope you have a great time out here on a Friday. A usual beautiful Friday, exciting times. We almost have a month of live streaming, guys. Is it Friday today? It's supposed to be, yes. So we almost have we almost have a month of live streaming. Early next week is going to be 1 month of live streaming together. Great performance so far. For me, the most important part is to bring a level of education material for my community members. Honesty, transparency when it comes down to the firms. Share with you and explain you the rules as exactly they are. And pretty much be here constructing a profile of authority that you can base your decision on. I don't like that rejection. I don't want to see a rejection here on this 1 minute. I would like to see this one pushing higher. Well, it's a good closing, but this current one has to push. The slow grinding here is usually beneficial, but it needs that one last strong candle. Or the last 2 strong candles. We're up by $700. I mean, I could be satisfied with a such level, but that target right there is so attractive. It's so attractive. 5 minute looks great. We've been bouncing. We've been reacting from the golden pocket. Probably S&P here is going to break out too. It was ranging in this levels, S&P. If it breaks out here, Nasdaq is going to go for my target. Because this breakout here for the S&P is also going to lead us into just have to allow this sufficient time. is going to lead us into filling up the gap above 630s. Let's just give it enough time, guys. This 5-minute is very important. Closing out on a bullish candle in terms of the way it constructs is going to be the key for the breakout above 630s. Bunch of liquidity there. Bunch of newbies around that level. Thank you guys for watching. This is our trade that's running live on an instant funding platform. Link is in the description area. Link is also pinned in the chat. Coupon code at the checkout. Max discount, including a flash sale right now for the biggest account with a special coupon. This is instant funded. You don't go through challenges. I got a bunch of videos, including yesterday. I posted one for those of you that would like to understand how does it work. I'm gonna exit
Order
here, guys.
filled.
I'm not gonna handle a retracement and another rejection here. S&P is rejecting as well. There's no point for me to be overexposed on 15 contracts if the momentum is not here right now. Looking for a better setup. If it appears, of course, a much better setup. A much better setup as long as we get it. And that is up to the markets to deliver the setup. We're ready to receive it. We're ready to screen that, to see it, right? To recognize it. We have been so far successfully confirming a bullish instance above 700s for short term. That might just continue. The only problem here is that bulls have lost a portion of their energy. Pretty slow Friday so far. Probably it's gonna chop around this level. We got good numbers on the other accounts, right? So that's an important one step forward. I'm gonna go
Order
about a
filled.
tight short here, guys. Very tight short here. A very, very tight short here.
Order
Adding
filled.
3 extra contracts. 8 micros short here. It's a scalp. Our short is back to a stronger support level if that's the case. Would accept the loss of $209 here.
Order
Adding
filled.
3 extra to this, we're 11 contracts. And we're very tight.
Order filled.
No. Has not been playing out. So you can request a payout anything above the safety threshold on all the accounts. Anything above the safety threshold can be requested as payout. the safety threshold is equal with the level of old payout threshold. Is equal with that level. Interesting spot here, guys, to go for a nice market continuation on a 1 minute, guys. Look at that. A breakout here, it actually sends us, you know, we actually have a trending line here. And a breakout here is going to have a similar pattern to what we had at this point. Breakout, continue. Breakout, continue. This is where my target sits, 790s. Around that one. Let's go, guys, for the move. Beautiful. That's a beautiful move so far. $791. Anything above can be cashed out up to the max withdrawal per each request. You know, there is the max withdrawal per request. There is a max request value, right? Look at that, guys. We're going to the target. We are going. Let me sell 5 contracts. No. Selling everything.
Order filled.
Beautiful, beautiful, guys. $1,000. We're up right here with another great trade that has been performed on the third account as well. So everything's sitting on green. Everything's sitting on green. The first 2 copy traded about $2,100 and the third account $900. $976. That's $4,200 from the copy. And then $976, that's $5,100, guys. Now let me get back to Ricardo's question. Anything above up to the max payout request. There is a max payout request that you can do each round, each cycle. For 150K, that is $3,000. Right, so if you make 20,000 above the threshold, you're going to have a lot of the drawdown room, a lot of max loss, and it's going to be very easy for you. But you're still going to be able to cash out 3,000. So the idea is, as soon as you have that 3,000 made above, go ahead and request. Yeah, go ahead and request for a payout in that case scenario. And the good part is you remain with 157 500s after you requested 3,000. If you made 160 500, so you remain 157 500, and you only need to do in your second cycle $3,000. So you have $7,500 drawdown, max loss, and only need 3,000s. And this is how your cycles are going to look like at that point. So the first payout is the big deal. All the other payouts and any subsequent is a lot easier. Basically, is a huge difference between the first and the second payout and any subsequent. It's a huge difference, guys. That has been an amazing trade out here, fellas. Thank you so much for watching today. I'm gonna call it a day. I mean, it's sufficient. I'm gonna call it a day. I'm gonna call it a week. Let's just quickly have an overall on what has been going around. This is what we got, $6,600 this week. This is copy traded, right? Leader and follower account. So that's where we are, 154 with this one. The safety threshold appears in $3,400. So need to do that $3,400. And then whatever I make above that, I can request a payout. This is the way it is. This is the 150K account. The problem is here with my third account, which had actually 3 days in a loss. I'm on 147, so I'm down $3,000 with this one. Even this week with 3 green days, I mean that's 2 days because yesterday was 86 bucks. We were calling it a day early. So 2 green days, 2 red days, still $477 lost here. If we would have been copy trading all the 3 accounts, then it would have been different. So it's not that the more you trade in terms of copy trading, the worse it is, because you're actually in a situation where you definitely have to lose. That determination should not be in your heads, guys. Definitely not. Obviously, you're risking more in terms of principal because you're risking more accounts. But just because you also have to do extra trades by not trading everything at once is also an additional risk you have to consider. It exists. You have to search good entries, you have to spend hours and hours and so on, right? So there's advantages and disadvantages. Have a nice weekend, everyone. Enjoy your day. We're looking forward to our Discord for our community. You got all the links, everything for those of you that would like to approach it. Have a lovely, lovely end of the week. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We talk to you soon, guys. Thank you once again. Talk to you on Monday.